Namaste. Good morning. Welcome to class. Hope everybody, we have a wonderful word in Spanish, amanecer. How did you greet the dawn? I hope that everyone greeted the dawn beautifully and are ready to engage in some practice. The word that came to me this morning during my practice is stability. The word that came to me this morning was stability, and working through our physical body to get stability in our inner energetic body. So that's going to be our keyword today, is stability, is keeping that in mind as we move through the practice. So finding a stable seat, stiram sukham asanam, a pose that's strong, a seat that's strong and easy. So something that feels good to you and your legs are supported. So if your legs are up, that won't work. There's no stability there. The insides of your thighs are yelling and asking you to please support them. So use a block or a pillow or a rolled up blanket or anything to put underneath your knees to let this part of your body relax. You can't find a comfortable seat if your legs are yelling at you and asking you to please stop at any moment. Okay? Arms, soft. Mine are just draped right now, down over my legs. So there's no tension up in the shoulders. The arms are soft and stable. The hands can be receiving. They can also be containing. And they can be in a mudra, like Jnani mudra, the mudra of wisdom, with the index finger and the thumb touching. So finding a comfortable place for your arms, maybe in your lap is good. Wherever your arms are comfortable, you put the dominant hand on top, the hand that you write with on top, and then thumbs touching, and just rest the hands in the lap. Lean forward a little bit. Notice how that's not balanced for your body. Lean back a little bit, even a little bit more. Notice how that's not balanced. See what happens to your thighs. Come back into neutral, a little bit over to one side. Back into neutral, a little bit over to the other side. Now try to find that happy medium where you're balanced up on your sit bones with your spine long, reaching up and extend it up toward the ceiling. Your chin parallel to the floor, so neither up and nor tucked for a moment. Shoulder blades relaxing down the back. So finding strength and stability, stiram sukham. Good, just find it tall. And now bringing our hands into the heart, Anjali Mudra. Now letting the head bow a little bit, lengthening the back of the neck, feeling compression on the front of the neck. With gratitude, we salute all the great yoga masters, past, present, special prayer of thanksgiving for Babaji. With joy, we recognize the excellent wisdom teachings of yoga and Ayurveda. And with vigor, we dedicate ourselves to self-transforming practice, remembering the only one we can possibly transform is ourself. Find an intention, a sankalpa. What is your intention for your practice today? Repeat it 3 times silently. And then thinking of someone or something to whom to dedicate your practice. And letting those 2 thoughts slip out of your mind down into your heart space. I'm going to chant 1 Om, the sound of the universe coming into creation all the way through infinity. Join me if you can. Exhaling and inhaling to chant. letting your head come back into a neutral spot on an inhale, fluttering the eyes open. Good. And then press the hands into each other. Begin to raise the elbows out to the side. So notice stability here. Let's get a couple of rectangles with a triangle somehow in there. Okay. Pressing into your hands. Elbows are lifted shoulder height. So notice from your shoulder to your elbow, elbow to your wrist. I get little message across my screen that say my connection is unstable. And when that happens, I pause. So if you wonder why I'm pausing, that's why. If you hear the same thing twice, it's because I paused and realized that happened. So press into the hands. Good. So really stable from the wrist to the elbows, elbows to the shoulders. Notice the space between the shoulder blades and the back, just noticing that space. And then slowly, we're going to take the arms up as if you were moving through molasses, really slowly. Elbows are going to touch. Notice the shoulder blades peeling off the back over to the sides. Raise the arms just a little, almost to your chin perhaps. Good. And then bring the elbows down towards your chest and open your arms out in front. Just opening the arms out in front. Good. And then draw the elbows back up. Now the arms are reaching straight out. And then opening the arms. Resist as if you were, again, moving through molasses. Press through the fingertips, palms are facing me, thumbs are facing up. Press through the fingertips. Good. And then flip the palms down, thumbs facing the floor. Reach the arms back, interlace the fingers, and squeeze toward the floor with the knuckles. Shoulder blades kissing in the back, opening the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, just release the arms and exhale, shake out the arms. Good. And if you have blocks and you use them, take them out of the way. And we're going to come into table pose. Good. So this is where stability is crucial. A lot of times in our back, we're hanging in the joints. We're hanging in our elbow, hanging in our shoulders. Push the floor away and make sure that your wrist are underneath your elbows, underneath your shoulders, that you have a long line of energy there. The minute you, let's undo that so you can see how unstable it is. Take your wrist a little bit back and notice how now your shoulders are hanging out over in space and what tension that puts at the back of your neck and your trapezius. Just notice. Okay, and then now let's take our arms out in front. And now notice what tension it puts in the top of the shoulders. The deltoid, the one that comes toward the front of your body. Good. Okay. Move them back where they go, right underneath. Open your hands really big hands. See if you can make a right angle with your thumb and your index finger and press the balls of the hands into the floor. Good. And look down at your hands for a moment and make sure that your arms and hands are strong. Are your elbows locked? Micro bend in the elbow, micro bend, so that anytime you could go down. And if you went down, you would go down with your elbow behind your wrist, exactly behind, not out to the side. So elbows are not out to the side. Elbows are back, ready to go down at any time. But you have a slight bend there, especially if you're a hyperextender and are hanging in your elbows, okay? So press into the floor, look down, get the strength, relax your shoulders for a minute, see what it is to slump, and then press the floor away. Come up nice and tall with the space between your shoulders broad. Good. Now, let's look at our legs for a moment. Just lift up your right leg and notice how you want it to just hang out of the hip. And left leg, just hang out of the hip. Good. Now, let's just see what it looks like when it's not like that. Take your knees a little bit further. Close. Ooh, how does that feel? Really yucky on the mid-low back, right? Right into your quadratus lumborum. Take them back. Take them a little too far back. And realize there you don't have stability and you're dumping into the front part of your body, okay? So get the knees right underneath the hips. Great. So as we do Vidalasana, as we do cat pose and curl our spine into both directions, the shoulders never collapse. We aren't ever doing that stuff. That's a shoulder roll, and that is not what cat pose is. We are simply curling the spine. You can add your feet or not in one direction, and then curling the spine in the other direction. So maximum flexion and maximum extension on both sides of the spine. So come into cat pose. Coordinate your breath with your movement. You may be slower than me, you may be faster than me. Your breath, your movement. Use your exhale wherever you need more power. Good. And then come into neutral for a moment. We're just going to come up to move our wrist. So make some circles with your wrist, just in case your wrists are getting tight. Good. Shake out the wrist. Open your hands big, really big. Squeeze and make a tight fist. Wrap the thumbs on the outside of your fingers. Good. And then open them really big one more time. And then squeeze them really tight, really tight, really tight. And this next time, put them back on the floor. Really big hands. Again, the space between your index finger and thumb, get as much of a right angle as you can. You may need to help one, help the other. They'll remember a little bit. It can help them. Good. Make sure you're aligned. Great. And now we're going to do a twist from here, which really requires us to keep that same stability in our legs and our hips. I will just do it facing you so we can use the same side and not get confused. Good. So opening your left arm out to the side, left arm opening. Press into your knees, your feet evenly. Your feet can be splayed out or they can be curled under, toes curled under, whichever gives you the most stability in your leg. Good. And then we're slowly going to thread the needle, resting on our left shoulder, left side of the head. Keep your leg stable, especially your left leg. Don't let it move. Reach your right arm around and put your hand on your sacrum. And then take your thumb side up to the ceiling with your right hand. Right thumb up toward the ceiling, the arm is reaching down along the spine. And then lift the arm, press into the shoulder on the floor, lift through the shoulder up into the hand. Thumb is facing your head, open. And then palm opening, big open palm. Press evenly into the left leg. The left leg is going to have a tendency to move. And then place the hand down in front of the face somewhere. Stack the elbow on top. Make sure you have that connection. Elbow stacked on top of your wrist. And then begin to press the floor away. Spiral up. Take it in the other direction again. And then let's replace the hands right into our neutral spot. So finding a lot of stability. Noticing how the leg wants to travel. And keep your hips unstable. Good. Okay, now ready with the right arm. Press the floor right now. Press against the floor. Press, press. Check your legs. Feet are curled under or laid out, whichever you have. Press into the legs. And really pay close attention to the right leg. And now we're going to curl under, threading the needle, resting on the right shoulder, resting on the right side of the head. Keep pressing the right leg down toward the floor, taking your hand back to your sacrum. Shoulder is opening, opening, opening. And then take your thumb up toward the ceiling. Your left thumb up toward the ceiling. Good. And then raise the arm up toward the sky. Press into the shoulder on the floor, reach up, open the hand. Big palm facing in the same direction as your face. Breathe, press into the legs, legs, hips, legs. And then placing the hand on the floor somewhere in front of your face, stack the elbow on top of the wrist carefully. And then as you're ready, press into the floor, giving you that extra stability to rise up. And then coming back into neutral, finding your table. Good, stable. Let's curl our toes under and take our hips back to our heels. Again, working with our wrist. If there's any wrist issues, just keeping blood circulating, movement happening. If you have inflammation, it may be painful and then you don't want to do it. If it's inflamed, you don't want to overdo. When it's not inflamed, these are the exact exercises you should be doing to get more mobility and strength in the wrist area. Okay, so let's come up for a moment. Just taking advantage of being in this kneeling pose. We're going to externally rotate the left leg. And your back foot can be rolled out or it can be under. This is a really important stability factor right here. So take the time and notice that you have the stability of your ankle underneath your knee. So when you are up in warrior pose, this is our warrior hips, warrior legs. When you're up in warrior pose and you don't have your knee there, and you have it even a little bit more further, it's super dangerous for your knee. It's better to have it a little bit back, and at least it won't hurt the knee joint. The very best is stacked, okay? Gives you the stability of the ankle all the way through the knee deeply in the acetabulum, okay? Good, so finding that stability. Wiggle your shoulders, just wiggle. And then reach the arms out to the side, good. Let's take the palms up first so we can see how much external rotation we have here. Let's take the little fingers together in front. Shoulder blades come off and out toward me, and then roll the shoulder blades and set them back firmly on your back. Open the arms again. Shoulder blades are down and firmly set, and then pronating. Good, just turning the palms over, facing the floor. Great, so everything is stable and stacked for a moment. If we were in warrior fully, this leg would be abducted. But we're good. And then keeping your neck long, wiggle your head, little Indian head wobble. And then take your head out over the whole head. And gaze out over your left fingers. Stable, the neck joint is stacked, everything's stable. Good, and then arms overhead, hands to the heart. Good, and then shake out the arms and bring in the leg. Good, find the stability right here. Knees, hips, shoulders. From the side, it's all stacked. Knees, hips, shoulders, everything stacked. Okay, if you're going like that a little bit, it's not going to give you any support. If you lean forward and thrust forward, it's not going to give you any support. Find where your pubic bone and tailbone are reaching down evenly, creating stability in the pelvic basket. The belly is in. Ribs are breathing into the rib area. Good. Shoulders are relaxed. Great. So now with the right leg. Externally rotate the right leg. Make sure that your knee is right over your ankle. And then you can see your big toe on the inside of your knee. If you can't see your big toe, fix it. Move your heel. If you can see your heel, fix it. You don't want to see your heel. You just want to see your big toe. Okay? Find the stability on the back leg. Good. And then arms up, out to the side. Let's supinate. Soup, asking for soup. Soup, please. Palms are up. Good. Okay. Shoulders, raise them up. Take them back. Raise them down. Take them down. And find this neutral place. And then flip the palms. Good. Neck and head. Move it all the way around. Any way you can move it, wobble it. And then with your chin parallel to the earth and your neck long, take your face out towards your arm. Good. Breathing. Breathing into the chest, not into the belly. You need your belly stable here. Good. And on your next inhale, arms floating up overhead, palms facing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. And then lower. Great. So showing the stability and the stacking of the joints is super important. I want to show it in one more place where often I find we get into a lot of trouble. So if you have blocks, bring them. And if you don't, I'm going to give you the key that will help still keep you stable. Come up onto the feet and we're going to stand. Now you're on the ball of the feet. So let's just see if we can go all the way up and stay on the ball of the foot, all the way up. Walk on the ball of the foot for a moment. Walking. And then lower to the heels. Lift your toes. Balance the weight on the foot without toes. Balance the weight all the way on the foot. Both feet are completely balanced. And then drape your toes down. Good. So I want to do this from just a little. We'll do a standing Tadasana. Okay. So again, lined up, knees, relationship to the ankle, to the hip, to the shoulders, to the ears. So from the side, you can see a line. Let's take our arms overhead, out to the side is best for everyone. Good. And then as we exhale, begin to dive forward, slowly coming forward. And if you have a block, you're welcome to use it right here. Gazing out in front. Good. So you're looking forward, gazing out in front. And then we're going to step our left leg back into a lunge. Now I have my blocks and I'm putting my weight into my blocks so that I've not got so much weight on my legs. This knee is stacked right over the ankle, and that's what gives me the power to do this. I'm pressing through my back heel, so I have power in the back leg. I'm not dropping anything into the knee. I'm pressing through the heel, out of the hip joint. Hip through heel, and the knee right over the ankle. This is super important, okay? Super important. I'm not dumping weight into my knee. I am using my hands and arms to support. Right now, I'm personally using my back heel to take some of the weight out of the front leg, okay, so I can show you this. Good. And then let's drop to the back knee. Keep the front knee balanced. You can bring your hands to the knee and then press up, keeping the knee over the ankle. That's the relationship you really want to keep. So if you have a back bend here, the back bend is going to come from your thoracic spine, beginning to show your sternum toward the ceiling. And exhale, back into neutral. Take out the back bend, get your blocks, find that stability, reach through the back heel. Good. And then take a little hop to the front, right back to the front. Look forward. And now stepping the opposite foot back. Take it back, all the way back. Press back, press through the heel. Make sure that your knee and ankle have a complete relationship. Knee right over the ankle. Good, reach through your heel. Breathe. I'm pressing into my blocks and not dropping my weight into the front leg. Trying to keep it evenly spread between both legs. And then going down to the knee. Still stacking this knee right on top. When you go down to the back knee, you can have a tendency sometimes to lean the knee forward. No, no, no. Or take it back. Back is a lot better than forward. Okay? But stacking it and creating that stability and strength is the best. Great. So we're going to bring our hand to the knee, push off. Knee stays in relationship to the ankle. Great. And then the back bend is going to come strictly from where I have ribs. Only where I have ribs. Everything from my belly button down doesn't move. And I'm just leaning back. And exhaling forward. Good. So taking out the back bend. Good. Take a nice inhale, and then we're going to exhale to the front. Great. Inhale from about halfway up, and then exhale the rest of the way up. Find your plumb line. Find your long line of energy. Ankles, knees, hips, shoulders, ears. And then relax muscle to bone. Just relaxing for a moment. Muscle to bone. Good. And then inhale, let the eyes flutter open. Lift up through the pelvic floor. Completely lift up through the pelvic floor. Tuck in the belly. You need this strength and this stability. Okay? Good. So we're going to do a balance pose just to show the stability that's required. I'm going to use a wall. I'll use this wall. And I'm going to balance the same exact Tadasana right over my standing left leg. So I'm going to step back, find the Tadasana. So my toes are facing the floor. They are not ever going to face out to the side. And then I'm slowly and I need to maintain the stability with my standing left leg, and my right leg is in Tadasana. Right leg, right body, or everything with the body. And then back. Good. Let's try the other side. Okay? So finding yourself tall, finding yourself completely aligned. Good. Find your Tadasana. And then stepping back with the other foot. And then getting ready. Toes are facing the floor. You can look back and see and make sure. Little toe side toward the floor. Otherwise, you've hiked out the hip and externally rotated. Good. Come back. For just a moment, standing Shavasana. Relax muscle to bone, soft tendons. You can take in a couple of belly breaths. Pelvic floor relaxed. Shoulders, jaw, relax. Good. And then on an inhale, open your eyes. Great. Let's just look for stability in one more place. We're going to open the legs nice and wide. Good. And your knees and your second and third toe are facing forward. So you may need to kick your heels out a little bit more. You may need to bring your heels in, depends on how you are with your legs right now. But finding stability, okay? Then let's consciously lift the pelvic floor. Bring in the belly, belly to spine. Put your hands around your ribs and begin to breathe into your hands. Exhale, belly stays to the spine, just keeping all of that stability in your legs. Breathe into your ribs. Good, and on your next exhale, headed forward, a long line of energy from the crown of the head to the tailbone. Just take your hands back behind you, hold your elbows or just interlace your fingers wherever you'd like. You're gazing out, not down. Breathe. And then bend your knees slightly and notice how your knees and your second toe are still headed in the same direction. Begin to look forward. Good. Knees and second toe headed in the same direction. Great. So now we're going to look for some more stability in this wide-legged pose. So begin to straighten the knees a little bit. Bring the heels in. Knees and heels in the same, knees and toes in the same direction. Bring the toes in. Knees and toes in the same direction. Bring the heels in. Knees and toes in the same direction. Bring the toes in and heels. Okay, so it's important that our second and third toe and our knees are headed in the same direction as we begin this squat. So slowly finding your squat. Relax your upper body for a moment. Just let your hands be on the floor, round the spine, tuck your chin into your chest. Let your whole spine find this embryonic C curve. And then begin to peel the chin off the chest, looking forward. Just noticing your legs, the weight of the hips. Good. And then let's release the bottom all the way to the floor and extend the legs out into Dandasana. Looking for joint alignment here as well. Toes are to the ceiling, knees are to the ceiling, legs are engaged, shoulders back and down. Press through the heels and keep them on the floor. Otherwise, you're hyperextending in your knees. Heels on the floor. Good. Notice the stability that comes in the hips. You're balanced on top of the sit bones. Shoulders soft, reaching down. Good. And then we're going to release the legs and let them just rock out to either side. Just let go. Good. Reach in, grab your thighs for a moment. Just massaging the thigh, getting all four quads. Reach into the other leg. And then Vajrasana. We're going to bring the soles of the feet together. And we really want to create a diamond initially, a nice sized diamond. So don't bring them too far in. Lift your hips up, set them back down, right on the tops of the sit bones. And then if you have your blocks or if you have a bolster or a pillow, just put them underneath the knees for a moment. So this is completely supported, completely supported. Good. Relax your shoulders, soften, wiggle. Good. Lift again, make sure you're on top of your sit bones, and this time take your lizard tail back a little bit. Rock yourself onto the front toward the pubic bone, just a little bit. Rest your elbows somewhere close to your knees. Good. Look forward. And just be here for a moment. Lift the pelvic floor, pull in the belly toward the spine. Gazing forward. Good, and then coming back up into neutral, find yourself in neutral, find yourself fully on the sit bones. Move the blocks out of the way, draw your knees up, squeeze the knees together for a moment. Good, and then extending the left leg out, right leg in. Good. So for stability in our spine, we're going to create 2 flying buttresses like Notre Dame. Flying buttresses that make nothing have to be below, okay? So our spine is the spiral, the spire. Put your arm back behind, lean back a little bit until you find all of your natural curves of your spine. So you've got your lumbar curve, you've got a little bit of your cervical curve, every curve, good. And this knee is going to stay right in front of that ankle, okay? So we're not going to move it at all. But go ahead and place your left hand on the knee. And then as you inhale, open to the right, exhale, return. Press through the left heel. Inhale, open, exhale, return. Finding stability in the twist. Inhale, open. Exhale, return. Last time we're going to stay. Inhale, open. Press through the heel of the left foot. Go ahead and take your left elbow and hook it outside of your right knee. Looking out to the right side, your palm and your face in the same direction. On your next inhale, bring your head out over your left shoulder, toward me. And then on your next exhale, we're going to release the twist. Little hula over to the other side. Good, ascending Hooven. Work on the descending. Go ahead and bring your leg up. Sit yourself up on top of the sit bones. Knee and ankle in complete relationship. You've created a triangle here, a strong triangle. Just go ahead and rest the right hand on your knee. And the flying buttress behind you, your leg is the flying buttress in the front. Okay? Press through the right heel. And as we inhale, open. Exhale, close. Rock open the shoulder, bend the elbow. Inhale, open. Look to the side. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Chin on the sternum. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. This is the last one. Inhale, open, stay. Good. Go ahead and take your elbow and put it outside of your left knee. Right elbow outside of left knee. Chin is right over your sternum. Your face and your palm are facing the left side. And on your next exhale, press into both buttresses. Press into your leg and foot. Press into your arm behind you. Bring your chin out over your right shoulder. Good. And then on your next exhale, let's release the pose. Good. Excellent. And then extend out the leg. So we're going to do an inversion, which helps us to move all of the subtle energy structures, our values, as well as balance nadis. But it also will help our whole physical body in a way. It lets the lymph come back down with gravity instead of being pumped up toward the chest area all day. So it's very helpful. But who should not invert are a pregnant person who's never inverted before, someone who's on the first heavy days of their menstrual cycle, absolutely not. Someone with glaucoma, eye pressure problems, or uncontrolled blood pressure. If you have controlled blood pressure with medication, you're fine. So I want you to think of an inversion that you might want to do. You can think of headstand, you can think of shoulder stand, you can think of Viparit Karani Mudra, you can think of mountain pose, often called downward facing dog, a great half inversion. You can think of bridge pose. And you can also just do legs up the wall. So all of those people that I mentioned that can't do an inversion or should not do an inversion, you and I are going to do legs up the wall, which just means we're going to find the wall. We're going to clear stuff out of the way so we can simply lie down and raise our legs above our heart level. And if you have blood pressure issues and you're not sure, down here is perfectly fine. So not so high above the heart. So finding your inversion for the morning. Downward facing dog, headstand, handstand, Viparita Karani Mudra, or just legs up the wall. Find it. We're going to be here a couple of minutes. Once you find your pose, remind yourself, Stiram Sukham Asanam. Asana should be steady and comfortable, easy, strong. Just asking if you're using any muscles that aren't necessary. You probably don't need your jaw for this pose. Could you let go a little? Maybe there's some other muscle groups that are just hanging out and doing way too much. Check in. And then slowly and gently beginning to bring yourself out of your inversion. Whatever inversion you took, mindfully coming out. And then at the end, seeing if there's a counter pose that you need to rebalance. Finding your Shavasana. As you find corpse pose, don't think you're restricted by staying inside your mat. Let your legs or arms come off, just keeping the hands below the heart. Imagine the skin around you soft. And everything inside, muscle, tendon, bone, cartilage, organs, soft. Just feeling yourself go into the floor, barely separate from the floor. Slowly bringing your awareness into the body, into the breath. And I want us to begin our pranayama practice right here on the floor in Shavasana. Just reach around and find something. It could be a block, a book, a pillow, and place it on your belly. Just anything. If you don't have a thing at all, just place your hands on your belly. And then just into your vision, you may need to slide something up underneath your head. Get the block or the pillow or anything that's on your belly in your vision. Just support your head a little. If you have one hand under your head, one hand on your belly, if you don't have a prop. And then let's start using our breath to move the prop for the scene. Exhale, breath all the way out. And as you inhale, lift the prop. Exhale, prop sinks back in. Inhale, lift the prop. Exhale. 4 or 5 more. And then rest your head. If you were holding it, just let it rest. Keep breathing into the belly softly. And then on your next exhale, let the block come in. And then on your inhale, breathe into your chest and don't move the block. Let the ribs expand side to side, front to back, and then exhale it out. Block stays where it is. Inhale, ribs. Spread the ribs side to side, bucket handle breathing, not high in the ribs, low in the ribs. Top pause and exhale it out. So the block is staying stable and you're breathing into the chest area. Good, and one more, just one more chest breath. And once you're done, move your prop out of your way, off your belly. Bend your knees, put your feet on the floor. Just lift your hips up, shift them away from me somewhere, set them down, and then rock your knees over toward me. And then rock the rest of the body over toward me, and then begin to press the floor away, spiraling up. Keep the chin tucked into the chest. Head is the last thing that floats up on top of the spine. Good. So today we're going to do that resistance breath, pratiloma, where we take our index finger, tuck in the index and the middle finger, our thumb to the right nostril, ring finger to the left nostril. They're both pressing in as if we had nose clips. They're both going to restrict our inhale into the chest, not the belly. And then we're going to release and take a full out exhale. Let everything come back down, settle. And then we're going to press in, restricting the breath, pulling that breath into the low ribs, and then release and exhale, okay? So you can keep your hands really close. I may release just to show you that I'm not doing it, okay? I'm not touching my nose any longer. So exhaling the breath all the way out. We're going to do 10 and then pause. Close off the nostrils a little bit. Inhale into the ribs. Pause at the top. Exhale. Release the nose. Flip off the nose. Inhale. Release. Exhale. 8 more. And then as you take this eighth breath in and then exhale it out, hold out the exhaled breath. Don't inhale in, hold it out. Pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale normal. Full inhale, belly or chest, wherever it went to, full exhale. Just notice the body, notice the mind, notice the capacity of the lungs. Notice how that first breath was after all of that retention and force. Good. We're going to try that again. This time we'll just do 5. We'll do 5, pulling the breath into this area. Smooth exhale, no hand. Press it, pull it in. Okay, so 5 rounds. Starting with an exhale, belly to spine all the way out. Keep the belly there. Close off the nose. Exhale. Exhale. Bring it into the ribs. And this last one, pulling it in, exhaling it out, and then pausing, holding out that exhaled breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Just notice the size of that inhaled breath. Inhaling and exhaling naturally, normally, breathing. Notice the head, the chest, the belly, the whole trunk and the head. Good. And then just letting the eyes flutter open. We're moving into our meditation. Letting your hands rest, palms down. If you want your index finger and thumb to gently touch, but don't press them, just let them touch gently. Arms are resting on your legs. Letting your eyes close. Or a soft gaze out in front. Very soft. And then gently begin to find these tendrils of roots coming out of your bottom, out of your legs, out of your feet, reaching down through the floor, down through anything below you, and hooking in slowly to Mother Earth. There's a power saw in the background. If you hear that noise, just recognize it and let it go. Let that sound root you down even further. From your belly button down, feel yourself rooted into Mother Earth. Notice the lightness in the chest, the head. And bring your focus into the abdominal region, the solar plexus, around the belly button up to the low ribs where they meet. Just focusing in that area of transformation. Relax your anal sphincter. Relax the pelvic floor. Relax your belly, your shoulders, your jaw. Rooted into Mother Earth. any of the ambient noises on my end, on your end, dogs or roosters, anything just helps you to sink into a deeper state of relaxation. Beginning to notice that the roots are growing in diameter until they're thick like roots of a tree. And you might even feel yourself being covered with a gentle bark. Solidity, earth, water. The body is heavy and rooted in. Slowly and gently letting the bark turn to mud and the mud begin to slough off of the body. The thick roots go back to tendrils, always there available for you to ground and stabilize, always connecting to Mother Earth, to the trees, to the nature around us. Feeling the spine tall, the breath lighter, softer, gentler. As we bring our meditation to a close, bringing the hands to the heart, Anjali. Any merit that we may have earned this morning in our diligent practice, we lift it up to the welfare of all sentient beings. Remembering your intention, repeat that sankalpa 3 times. Remembering your offering, and then letting those thoughts slip out of your mind, down into your heart space, and out of your heart space symbolically into the palms of your hands, and lift them up and just let them go off into the universe. Just let go. Bringing the hands back into the heart. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste. I'm coming to you for our chat, for our talk. I'll be right there. Let me fix it where you can speak. You're very welcome. Okay, I'm going to go to gallery view so I can see your beautiful faces. Hi, Nancy. Nice to see you. Good. Beautiful. Hi. Look how nice this is. Good morning, everybody. Wow. Excellent. Let me see who's on the next page. Good. Excellent. Great. Well, it's really nice to see all these beautiful faces. And sorry, I have a frog in my throat, or I have something in my throat. Um, so how did stability work for you today? Was that good? Excellent. Yeah. It really felt this morning that we all could use a little stability. Yeah. I know I can certainly use it. Today we start a conference, the National Association, the National Ayurvedic Medical Association, of which I'm a professional member. We started a conference. It was going to be in North Carolina. I had all of these great plans to go to North Carolina, fly into the Tri-Cities airport where it meets Bristol, Tennessee, and go down and visit my 96-year-old great uncle, and go back and be at the conference. And the conference is now online. So we start the conference today after I've done class and stuff. It starts a little bit later this morning. And then we have we have 3 days of an online Zoom conference. I don't know how that's going to suit with me, but that's 3 days of like 18 hours online. So we'll see how it goes. But it's called Ayurveda and Spirituality. That's the theme of this year's NAMA conference. And so there's a lot of really good stuff about yoga, Ayurveda, stress, PTSD, working with emotional problems, working with a lot of how we all feel during this COVID crisis, right? So I think stability and looking at it through our asana, through our pranayama, using a lot more abdominal breathing, looking at it through using in our meditation, make sure we really root down and ground down and find that really super stable place in our self before we go out and try to offer to the world when we don't yet have it ourselves, right? It's kind of hard to give to others when you're lacking yourself. Although I know many of us can just dig on down there and find something and still give, but then we get depleted. And Maggie, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? So, I mean, we have to be really careful and take good care of ourselves so that we have maximum amount of energy and strength to give to others who really need us right now. They need us to be present and just be a voice and an ear, probably even an ear more than a voice, where we really can just listen to someone's pain and misery, right? I don't think I had realized how sad all of this dying is. I had one of my former employees die this week, very suddenly. I mean, no, she wasn't sudden. It was, she had diabetes and lots of other complications, and it just gotten diagnosed with having liver cancer. So, but she got diagnosed on Monday and she died on Wednesday. And they buried her on Wednesday afternoon. And people gathered at the funeral, but no one could go to the home. No one, all of this was, you couldn't do it. So how sad to have a family have to grieve all of that alone. I mean, how sad, right? I think it just hit home when I realized that I couldn't go to the funeral. I would have never in a million years missed the funeral of one of my employees, not in a million years, and yet I couldn't go, or at least I certainly felt like I couldn't go. I mean, maybe I could have gone, and but I couldn't go. Me personally, I couldn't go. I'm trying to set an example of people too, of not taking unnecessary risk, and I'm really trying to set that example. So I couldn't personally go. But it's a very sad time for so many people. And of course, I didn't lose, and she wasn't lost to COVID, but right in the middle of all this, still, it's the same thing. Our normal traditions that help people get through grief have just been blown out of the water, Yeah, it's a whole new world out there. And I don't know if we're ever going to see anything the same again. Hopefully not. Hopefully we won't ever see anything the same again. We'll appreciate one another more. We'll appreciate what we have more. We'll appreciate the people in our lives. Yeah. guess I'm getting ready for Ayurveda and spirituality. I'm feeling very touched by just realizing, how this is a wake-up call for all of us, and not. I mean, I do still look at the news and see that some people are just crazy. I guess you all saw that the man who should not be named, 45, mentioned injecting people with disinfectant. It's like,
oh my God.
so some people may not be changed, and we have to let that go too, because there's no changing anyone but yourself. As we said at the beginning of practice, that our dedication to transformation. Really, we are the only one we can possibly change. Anybody ever try to change somebody else? Yes. Yes. Doesn't work, right? We all know that. And so just getting ourselves in order, I think, is the big key. Just really getting ourselves in order. We can't.
Ginger,
Yeah, Mag.
can we join sometime? So your Ayurvedic journey right now, or was this the open one for everybody?
This is a conference that Mama Donna paid for me to go. It's like $1,000 or something. I don't know. It's some huge conference. So I wouldn't recommend starting this, but I am going to start some online cooking classes. I need something else to do. Not really, but I need something I can do later in the day because my internet connection was unstable, so I waited. I need something to do later in the day that I can share with people. And so yesterday we did some, with Rebecca, we did some short videos. I'm going to put one on Instagram today, but to share the wisdom of Ayurveda through cooking. And so to talk a little bit, some of you have come to my Ayurveda, Introduction to Ayurveda class, where I do some cooking and we talk about the things too. So something similar to that, where I'm talking about Ayurveda and we're making a meal and showing some principles of cooking. For those of you who don't know, I have a restaurant down here in Guatemala, or says Maggie, and everything on the menu is me. I used to cook and I used to teach cooking classes. I taught cooking classes for 3, 4, 5 years back in the day, and never wanted to call myself a chef, but by golly, I've got the same exact qualities. So we're just going to get in, and like a lot of the things that I used to cook, I don't cook anymore. I don't really use much dairy anymore. And I went to cooking school in France, so I learned with lots of butter and cream and all of these fabulous things to make things so delicious. And I don't really use that anymore very much. So I do use a lot of ghee, which of course is clarified butter. But I want to just walk through some of the principles of eating well and eating Ayurvedically, and do that by just having people join a cooking class. So yeah, I think that'll be fun. We're going to do that.
I have 2 questions.
Yes, Juliet.
This is very new information, the cooking school in France. Where did you fit that in? That's question number 1.
That was 1976, I think.
I can't wait to hear more about that. And the second question is, you mentioned a couple of weeks back, you said about not eating 3 hours before you go to bed, and if that's not your custom, get over it. So it's been the question in my head, why shouldn't you eat? I mean, I've heard that before, but why shouldn't you eat, from the Ayurvedic perspective, 3 hours before you go to bed?
So your digestion happens at the pitta time of day. So that's from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. and from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., right? So in the middle of the night, in the middle of the day. So when you have your biggest meal, should be in the middle of the day, because the digestion is stronger. And at night, there's a lot of other bodily functions going on, as well as digestion, things that are repairing themselves and everything. So when you have food in your stomach, like in the organ, the stomach, and you go to bed with it, it can often be the cause of gastric reflux because you are in that supine position and you still have food in your stomach. It can go up into your esophagus. It can be the cause of sinus problems because we know not only does it go up into your esophagus, it goes up to the back of your throat and into your sinuses. When they do sinus cultures, a lot of it has food particles in it of what came up in the middle of the night. So gastritis or IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, all of that can come from having food in the stomach, in the organ, when you lay down and go to bed, right? So if you can have your meal at least 3 hours, and if it's meat, it really needs to be a little bit longer. Ayurveda is not vegetarian. Yoga is vegetarian. Ayurveda, we give people meat for lots of remedies, right? So it just depends. But having food in the stomach itself compromises the quality of your digestive process. So also this whole new thing about intermittent fasting, which is not really fasting. It's like having your dinner at 5 and then not eating again until 9 the next morning or 10 the next morning, like after we're getting out of class. That's the most ideal way to do. So you have, 14, 15 hours of fasting, like you haven't had anything in your stomach. So everything that's in your digestive system will start to regulate. People should have 1 bowel movement a day. Everything needs to stay in there so that all the nutrients can, I always think of it as a sushi bar. They can go to the sushi bar, all the cells can go to the sushi bar, which is your small intestine, and get what they need, and then go back and, feed all the little children and then come back and get some more stuff, but it's all staying in that small intestine long enough. The chyme is staying in there that all the nutrients can be brought out. So, it's just trying to increase your digestive power because it's not, you are not what you eat, you are what you digest.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Third question, Juliet.
Yeah.
I'm good, although I will get more information about the cooking school journey. I'm learning so
I
many
have lived
things
so
about
many
your-
lifetimes. I have lived
Yeah.
so many
Yeah.
lifetimes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
That was when I was a suburban housewife and had a flower shop and woohoo. All of these different lives that I have led. Yes. For those of you who don't know, I started my daily yoga practice. I had dabbled in yoga. My degree in college was in philosophy and went to graduate school in philosophy and studied philosophy and taught philosophy as a TA during grad school. And so yoga in that sense of philosophical thought has always been a great part of my life. But I didn't start, and of course I danced, so I did a lot of, there was asana into things, and then I did TM, some transcendental meditation. So it's not that I didn't practice, but I didn't have a daily practice until my 50th birthday, and that's 20 years ago this August. So it's never too late, never too late, never too late. Okay, well, I'm gonna go and get some food, and I'm gonna prepare myself for this NAMA conference online, and I look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Okay.
I had sent you a question.
Yes.
When you sent, can you email me back?
Let me just see.
No, not here. I had emailed it to you.
Okay. Yes, Radha. I'll look. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks to everybody. Yes, you are all so welcome. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Much love to you. Have a great Friday. Ciao, ciao.